Welcome back to my channel. If you get scared even a little bit, then this video might not be for you. Watch at your own risk, because today's story is dark, mysterious, and truly terrifying. Hello friends, how are you all? I hope you all doing great, and life is treating you well. I'm guessing you've already listened to my last horror story, but if you haven't, don't worry. I'll leave the link right below the description box. Today's story is going to be incredibly terrifying. If you have AirPods, headphone, or earphones, put them on right now. Go into a separate room, turn off the light, set your phone aside, and just lose yourself in the story through your headphones. Today's story is called The Red Mansion. Before this story begins, remember one thing. Some places don't hide treasure. They hide something far more terrifying. This story begins with two close friends, Zaid and Farhan, who loved exploring abandoned and mysterious places. Every weekend, they searched for forgotten buildings, haunted ruins, and places that no one dared to visit. One evening, Zaid received an anonymous letter with no sender's name. Inside, only a few lines were written. Deep inside the jungle stands the Red Mansion. Anyone who survives inside it from midnight until 4 a.m. will discover an ancient treasure. Thinking it was just another adventure, the two friends packed their flashlights, grabbed their cameras, got into their car, and drove toward the deserted jungle. The deeper they went, the darker the forest became. A thick blanket of fog covered the road, and even the car's headlights struggled to cut through the darkness. At exactly 11:30 p.m., they finally arrived. Standing before them was an enormous abandoned mansion. Its rusted iron gate was hanging half open. The walls had turned completely black with age. A foul smell of decay filled the cold night air. The place looked as though it had been abandoned for centuries. As soon as they stepped inside, bang! The main door slammed shut behind them by itself. Farhan immediately rushed back and tried to pull it open. It wouldn't move. It felt as though something unbelievably heavy was holding it from the other side. With no way out, they had only one choice: move deeper into the mansion. Dust covered every inch of the floor. Spider webs stretched across the ceilings. Their flashlight revealed strange symbols carved into the walls. Symbols neither of them had ever seen before. Then, the clock struck midnight. An old grandfather clock echoed through the mansion. 12 loud chimes. But something was terribly wrong. The clock had no hands. The moment the final chime ended, fast footsteps echoed from the first floor. Someone, or something, was running above them. Zaid whispered, "Maybe someone else is here." Holding their breath, they slowly climbed the old wooden staircase. Each step creaked so loudly that it felt ready to collapse beneath them. At the top of the stairs, they found a single wooden door. Across it were strange words written in red paint. From inside came the heartbreaking sound of a woman crying. Zaid slowly pushed the door open. The room was completely empty, except an old rocking chair standing in the middle. It was swinging violently by itself, back and forth, back and forth. No one was sitting on it. Farhan slowly walked toward the chair. The moment he reached out to stop it, the chair froze instantly. At that exact second, the temperature inside the room dropped sharply. Their breath became visible in the freezing air. Then, their flashlight began flickering. Once, twice, and suddenly, everything went completely dark. Silence filled the room. Then, two glowing red eyes appeared in the corner. Those eyes weren't human. A gigantic black shadow slowly emerged from the wall. It crawled upward across the ceiling. Its arms were unnaturally long. Its fingers ended in razor-sharp glass-like claws. Then, in a deep, horrifying voice, it spoke. "You will never leave this place alive." Farhan collapsed to the floor in terror, struggling to breathe. Zaid grabbed him and rushed toward the door. But before they could escape, bang! The door slammed shut on its own. With every bit of strength they had, they rammed into it again and again, until finally, the old door burst open. They sprinted toward the staircase. But the staircase was gone. In its place, there was only a solid black wall. The mansion had changed. It had trapped them. Only then did Zaid realize the horrible truth. The letter had never promised treasure. It was bait. The mansion attracted greedy people, only to make them its next victims. Suddenly, dark blood began flowing down the walls. Cold hands emerged from the floor, trying to grab their legs. The mansion itself had come alive. The clock now read 3:45 a.m., running through endless hallways. They finally reached the basement. The smell there was unbearable. Old skeletons lay scattered across the floor. Beside them were bags, watches, cameras, and belongings of those who had entered before, but never escaped. Then, the black shadow appeared once again, this time right in front of them. It lifted Farhan high into the air with one hand, slowly choking him. Farhan desperately fought for breath. Zaid looked around for anything that could help. Then he noticed an old cracked mirror resting against the basement wall. Inside the mirror, the shadow's true spirit could be seen. Without thinking, Zaid grabbed a heavy stone and threw it directly at the mirror. The glass exploded into thousands of pieces. A horrifying scream echoed through the entire mansion. The shadow burst into flames. Its body twisted violently before turning into ashes. Farhan dropped back onto the floor. At that exact moment, the clock struck 4 a.m. The front door slowly opened by itself. For the first time in hours, soft morning sunlight entered the mansion, supporting the exhausted Farhan. Zaid ran outside without looking back. They jumped into their car and sped away from the jungle. After driving several miles, Zaid glanced into the rearview mirror. The mansion looked completely silent, peaceful, as though nothing had ever happened. But then, he froze. In the upper window, the same two glowing red eyes were staring directly at them. They escaped with their lives, but neither of them was ever the same again. And that mysterious letter still finds its way to the doorstep of a new victim. And that is where today's story ends, my friends. I really hope you all survived this nightmare. If this story scared you and you liked it, please go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. I'll see you in the next horror video. Until then, goodbye.